Clubs just torched over 960 million euros on 10 transfers this window. One Premier League team paid more for a midfielder than most clubs are worth. A Brazilian superstar left Newcastle for a rival in the same city he used to terrorize. And the most expensive transfer of the year? It's not the guy you think. Stick around, because number 1 is going to make you rewatch your club's transfer budget and cry. Let's count it down, from 10 to 1. At number 10, we start with a name most casual fans didn't know 6 months ago. Jérémy Jacquet, from Stade Rennais to Liverpool, for 63.6 million euros. Liverpool went into the French league again, and again they came out with a gem. Jacquet was one of the most consistent performers in Ligue 1 last season, and Liverpool clearly see him as a long-term piece, not a squad filler. But here's the thing, this isn't even close to the biggest French raid of the summer. Wait till you see who else Ligue 1 lost. That's coming up, at number 9. Staying with West Ham for a second, because they got paid, twice. Crysencio Summerville, West Ham United to Al-Hilal, for 64.5 million euros. The Saudi Pro League strikes again. Summerville had a breakout season in England, and Al-Hilal decided the only way to stop facing him was to sign him. West Ham banked a huge profit here. But Summerville isn't even the biggest West Ham sale on this list. There's another one coming, and it's for more money, to the same rival club. At number 8, now we go from Newcastle to Barcelona. Anthony Gordon, Newcastle United to FC Barcelona, for 70 million euros. Barcelona needed pace and directness out wide, and Gordon gives them exactly that. For Newcastle, this is now the third big name leaving, and we haven't even reached the biggest one yet. Newcastle sold big this summer. How big? You're about to find out. Twice more before this list is done. At number 7, this one's a statement transfer. Gonçalo Ramos, Paris Saint-Germain to AC Milan, for 74 million euros. PSG cashing in on a striker who never quite got the nod ahead of their frontline options. Milan, meanwhile, get a proven finisher with Champions League pedigree, ready to lead the line in Serie A. Serie A just spent big to compete with the Premier League again. But it's the Premier League still throwing around the real money. Look at what's coming at number 6. Here's Newcastle's third big money exit, and it hurts the most. Bruno Guimarães, Newcastle United to Arsenal, for 87.5 million euros. Guimarães was the heartbeat of that Newcastle midfield for years. Arsenal finally got their man after chasing him for multiple windows. For Newcastle fans, this is the one that stings, losing your captain to a direct rival. And get this, Newcastle isn't done losing players on this list either. But right now, let's talk about the club that just won't stop spending on midfielders. At number 5, Tottenham strikes again. Mateus Fernandes, West Ham United to Tottenham Hotspur, for 99 million euros. That's West Ham's second sale in this list, and their biggest by far. Fernandes impressed massively in his time in England, and Spurs paid a premium to make sure nobody else got him first. But Tottenham weren't finished. They went back to the market and broke the bank again, for a player who already has a Champions League medal. That's next. Number 4. Tottenham's second monster deal of the summer. Sandro Tonali, Newcastle United to Tottenham Hotspur, for 108 million euros. That's Newcastle's fourth exit on this list. Tonali was a fan favorite on Tyneside, but Spurs came in with an offer too big to turn down. Two midfielders, over 200 million euros combined, both to the same club. Tottenham are building something serious. Now we're into the real heavyweight numbers. The top 3 are all over 100 million euros, and it only gets crazier from here. At number 3, Real Madrid don't do things quietly. Yan Diomande, RB Leipzig to Real Madrid for 125 million euros. One of the most exciting young wingers in European football. And Madrid moved fast and paid full price to get him before anyone else could. This is the kind of signing that's supposed to define the next decade at the Bernabeu. But even Madrid's huge fee gets beaten twice more before we're done. Number 2 is coming, and it's a Manchester City statement. Manchester City go big on English talent. Elliot Anderson, Nottingham Forest to Manchester City, for 135 million euros. Anderson had scouts talking all season, and City decided to pay whatever it took rather than risk losing him to a rival. For Nottingham Forest, this is a life-changing sale. For City, it's a clear message. They're still building for the future, no matter the cost. And now, the most expensive transfer of the entire 2026-2027 window. If you guessed this one, comment below, because almost nobody saw it coming. And finally, at number 1, the most expensive transfer of 2026-2027, Morgan Rogers, Aston Villa to Chelsea, for 138 million euros. Rogers went from a breakout talent to the most expensive signing of the summer in the space of one season. Chelsea beat out several rivals to get their man, and Aston Villa cash in on one of the biggest sales in their history. 138 million euros. For context, that's more than clubs like Newcastle spent replacing 3 players combined. So that's the full list. 10 transfers, over 960 million euros combined. Newcastle lost 4 players on this list alone. Tottenham spent big twice. And Chelsea broke the bank for the most expensive player of the year. Which transfer do you think was the best value? Drop your pick in the comments. And if this is the kind of breakdown you like, hit subscribe, because next window is going to be even bigger.